Why don't you name those albums so we can...
Doc at the Radar Station and Ice Cream for Crow.
Yeah.
And I brought him on David Letterman's show, actually, to promote...
You did?
Yeah, those albums twice I got him on. And they're both up, those clips are both up on YouTube, and they're very amusing. He was really nervous.
There's also, I found on YouTube, there's a clip of you performing solo guitar.
One of his pieces.
This a piece called Flavor Bud Living in France, I think, in the early 80s.
That put me on the map.
How did that even, how did that, I mean, the fact is you're playing solo guitar, and but Captain Beefheart composed it, sort of?
He composed it on the piano. He had a couple of interesting methodologies for instructing us in his music. One was it's called through composed, meaning he improvised it. A through composed piece. He played it once and taped it, and he wasn't a trained musician at all. So if you asked him to repeat it, he couldn't do it. But he got some great effects. He could get on the piano and just start pumping away. And anyway, he'd take these sections and say, okay, learn this on the guitar. And I pointed out to him, you're using all 10 fingers, and there's only 6 strings on the guitar. So he'd say, you better find another 4, man.
Well, it's kind of cool to watch you play Flavor Bud Living because the voicings are so non-atypical.
And that's what gave it a lot of his music a characteristic tonality, is that he would say guitar is merely a stand-up piano. He was actually a child prodigy sculptor. He was discovered around age of 5 or 6, sculpting in clay at the Griffith Park Zoo in LA by a Portuguese sculptor who had a TV series on what they used to call ETV, educational TV, on the UHF channel. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Okay, well, we're old anyway. So, and so he would come on and sculpt, and he won a scholarship to go study sculpting through something his father objected to, and his mother, and then they moved him to the Mojave Desert near a guy named Frank Zappa. Now you surely have heard of Frank Zappa. So those two guys were friends at a very tender age, and they influenced each other.
Yeah.
But, well, that was one method, was like playing the piano and then just saying, learn this. But it was difficult to then, make sense of it as a group. Like, well, what part are we playing, the left hand or the right hand? Once it got into a rock band format, it became difficult, so he relied on people in the group at various times to act as translators of his ravings, basically, because sometimes, too, we had to follow him around with little tape recorders. Like, everybody had to get the Sony cassette recorder, which they don't make anymore, but that was the one, and you had to get this thing. And he could call you up in the middle of the night and say, okay, you got your tape recorder, you're ready. Okay, listen to this, now get this. And then he'd whistle, like, tunelessly, it'd seem like, okay, learn that, man. That's a song called Melody Arms. It's about a hotel called the Melody Arms. Each verse is about a different person in a hotel in their rooms.
If you were to transcribe something like that, would he be enraged if you didn't get it right?
Well, he wouldn't really know, to tell you the truth.
He wouldn't know what...
But he would act like he knew. He would say, no, that's not it. So he got a lot out of us through these kind of suggestions. Or, he'd write diagrams or give you aphorisms. Yeah. He wrote when I recorded Flavor Bud Living, we were doing it at a studio in Glendale, California, where he actually was born. A place called the Sound Castle, which also on the side did Christian rock. I don't know how they tolerated the blasphemous Beefheart in there, but we were in there, and there was an extermination company called Western Exterminators. It still exists. And there was a memo pad from them lying around in the studio that had, as a graphic, a guy in a top hat, and Beefheart wore a top hat, with a giant sledgehammer about to pound the head of a mouse, like about a Mickey Mouse. That's their logo. You can look it up. It's so he was always drawing and painting, and he scribbled over it with red magic marker like a blood blotch, and then wrote on the top of it, "Play like you died." D-Y-E-D, and handed it to me before I recorded this piece. I did the best I could, to follow his instructions there.